Did you know that Roma is amor spelled backwards? Your eyes, they sparkle just like the moon. You should know that I'm not traditionally employed. You know, you have a beautiful body. It's a shame you don't work out. Hey guys, this is Eva. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about my life in Italy and how I'm building my brand from the ground up. So I figure that there's probably a fair amount of curiosity as to what it's like to date an Italian guy. And I wanted to share my experience and some of what my friends have experienced since I've been living here. Every single line that I've used to open this video is facts. It's true. I've heard it. My friends have heard it. So I'm going to give you the full tea on what it's like to date in Italy. So grab a mug, sit down, relax. Let's get into it. So before I really get into the video, I just want to make a disclaimer to say that this video is in no way meant to offend anyone. It's not meant to offend Italians or Italian men. It's mainly just to express some of the experiences I have had, as well as what I know other people have experienced as well. And just to give some insight into what someone can expect potentially if they come to live here and if they end up dating here. Because let's face it, most people, if you're moving to a different country, you're also going to be dating locals. So it's good to understand the differences in the cultures and what the people are like. Okay, so with that, let's begin. If you're going to be dating in Italy, then you have to understand that romance is approached very differently here than it is in the US. So the women are hard to get and the men are ready to chase. And a lot of this stems from how traditional Italians are. The idea of chivalry and courtship is still very much a part of society here. Of course, Italy is still a country, of course, that's modernizing, and so there's dating apps, there's online dating, whatever you can think of. But this idea of a man having to pursue a woman is still really important here. So you will hear Italian women say, you know, not all, of course, but they appreciate when a man pays for them on their first date. It's expected. A man should be the one to ask them out, right? Like an Italian woman is not going to do it. She's not going to approach a guy. That's just not how things are done here. And so the men, if you're an American, it's probably surprising just how aggressive they are, but it's because they're used to it. They have to be. If you want to catch the attention of an Italian woman, you have to be bold. You have to be unafraid to pursue. Of course, this is a huge generalization, and there are people who are shy, there are people who are not going to be this aggressive, bold pursuant in the name of love, but it is a notion that is still a part of society here. It's a big part of romance here, and so you just have to be prepared to experience that. So if you don't like the guys who are that bold, then you know you gotta find that Italian man who's shy. Okay, so now we have to get into the good part, and that is, dun dun dun, the stereotypes. And I'm not saying that I agree with these. I'm just saying that they exist and that, you know, they need to be addressed. Because there's maybe a pinch of truth to some of these. So if you're gonna get offended and you're gonna get mad at me and you're gonna write in my comments, I'm gonna delete them, okay? The first stereotype about Italian men, and I think this is the most pervasive stereotype that exists all over the world. If ever you hear about Italians, everybody always talks about this one thing, and this is the ever annoying, ever present mama's boy, otherwise known as the mamone.
How would you describe living here?
Paradiso.
Paradiso.
Yes.
Living
Paradiso.
with mama.
Sì.
Have you ever discussed whether it's time for Giorgio to move into his own apartment? Do you ever think, okay. No.
Mai.
When he stays out late, do you still worry about him?
Non dormo fino a che non viene a
I don't
casa.
sleep until he comes home. I don't sleep until he comes home.
This is a man who you cannot please. Your relationship will never work because you need to gain the approval of his mother, who he is so how do you say that word? Intricately tied to, that you just could never amount to the superiority, the beauty, the amazingness of his mom. Now, I'm gonna be fair, I've never actually met a guy like this personally that I was dating. I've never met a mama's boy. Not an Italian mama's boy. I've never met an American mama's boy. I've just never come across a mama's boy. But this stereotype is so pervasive that I think it's, I mean, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of truth to it. And ladies, if you come here and you catch even a whiff of this guy, run. Save yourself. Save yourself. Save your ovaries. Save your life. Save your womanhood. Do not date this mama's boy, because you are going to be dating him and her for the rest of your life. Think about if you want that, because maybe you don't. After the mama's boy, there is the Lothario, or the Latin lover. This guy is dangerous. Okay? He's passionate. He's stylish. He puts you on the back of his Vespa and tours you all around Rome. He takes you to swanky locales with his friends. He makes you feel like you've never felt before. He gives you the Lizzie McGuire experience.
Are you sure you know how to drive this thing?
This is Rome. Nobody knows how to drive.
Because a lot of women get taken on this experience and then they think that they've fallen in love, only to find out that this guy has also been taking that girl that he met last week from Australia. He's also been hanging out with some Spanish girl that he met in a club. He's also been hanging out with, that girl from Finland. Don't know where he met her, but this guy is the player. And I pray that if you come to Italy, you don't ever meet this guy. Or I pray that you are given the ability to spot this man in an instant so you don't get played. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of guys who fulfill this stereotype. I don't know why. I think it's because on one hand, I think a lot of Italian guys are super flattered that they've got this like Latin lover like stereotype. They're like, yeah, I'm Italian, I'm really romantic, I'm like, I'm great with women. And then sometimes they just take it too far and they end up being assholes. So just be careful, because this guy is out there. Of course, not every single guy in Italy is like this. There are good guys everywhere, but watch out for the Latin lover. Or at least know what you're getting yourself into, and then don't take him seriously. And, have the whirlwind, have the passion, have fun, but don't expect anything from it. It's the best way to enjoy that, in my opinion. The last major stereotype about Italian men is that they are possessive. And this is not a stereotype that is only attributed to the men, it's also attributed to the women. And possessiveness, I think it's a little bit true. And I only say that because I think that jealousy in Italy is viewed a little bit differently. Of course, extreme amounts of jealousy is toxic. It's going to be considered toxic no matter where you go. But here, I think just like a little pinch of jealousy is like considered a good thing. Like most people kind of feel like, oh, you should be a little bit jealous because that's your partner. It means that you value them. It means that, you enjoy your relationship. You don't want someone else to be with them. You don't want someone else to flirt with them. Like, of course, like you're going to be a little bit jealous. It's normal. So I think that that's kind of the approach that's taken. And so, yeah, you will find, I think that Italian guys can kind of have that little pinch of jealousy. And they might even find it odd that if you're an American girl and you're not jealous, they might be like, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you feel jealous? You should feel jealous. Is there something wrong with our relationship? So just be prepared for that. But I think as long as it's not anything that's crazy, I think maybe okay, a tiny bit of jealousy could be fine. I don't particularly care for jealousy. I don't think that is a healthy emotion, and I don't really like to give into it. But it is something that you will notice here. It's just viewed a little bit differently. It's not, as long as it's not toxic, it's not viewed as a bad thing. It's kind of just like, yeah, it's normal, of course. If you love the person that you're with, you're gonna be jealous sometimes. And yeah, that's that. So now that we've gone through all of the stereotypes about dating Italians, let's get down to the reality. Dating in Italy is just like dating in any other part of the world, okay? There's good and there's bad. I know women who have had wonderful experiences with Italian men. They're getting married, they're living with their boyfriend, they've had long relationships, and they're happy. Okay, and I've also met women who have had horrible experiences where a guy was possessive, he's cheated, and they have sworn off Italian men for life. Okay, so there's good and there's bad no matter where you go. My advice for anyone who wants to come in Italy and who is probably going to be dating Italian men at some point is just be aware of yourself and aware of what you want out of a relationship, out of a man, out of any kind of romantic situation, and that will take you a long way. And of course, be smart. There are a lot of people who lie for insignificant and extremely significant reasons. So when you're dating, and I just take this as a rule in general for myself, I'm like a detective. And not in the sense that I'm snooping on people's information. I don't snoop, I don't need to do that. But really listen to what people are saying to you, ask hard questions, and trust your gut. If something's fishy, then walk away from the situation. And be fair to yourself, be fair to other people, live your life honestly, live your life with truth. And just have fun too. Dating's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. You're not supposed to be out here crying and whining and sighing because you can't meet a man. First off, meeting a man in Italy is not difficult. They just out here, girl. I mean, there's just a lot of them, and they ready to mingle. So, your job is not on how to find a guy. but it's on how to find the right one for you. And this all depends on what you expect. Do you want a relationship? Do you want to have a fling? Blah, blah, blah. But of course, trust yourself, trust your gut, be smart, be critical. Good Lord, please be critical. Okay? And go with what's right for you. I really think that's all I can say about dating here. You know, are you going to find a guy who 100% meets these stereotypes? Probably not. There's good and bad in everyone. And most of the guys here have little bits and pieces of some of these types of stereotypes, you know, and it's for the good or it's for the bad. And in general, you just have to spend time with someone to discover them and to understand who they are. If they trash, though, you don't need to spend that much time. I think a date or two is enough. Okay? We're all about reclaiming our time in 2020. So, that's the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and hope you're staying safe, staying indoors during this quarantine. Bye.